Hello YouTube, my name's Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and another episode of DNA Saturday, which is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in DNA bombs. That was the create class we're using throughout the entirety of this gameplay. If you guys like to go back and pause that to get a better look, you can do that, but keep in mind I'll probably talk about the create class pretty frequently throughout this video. And yes, we are actually getting a DNA bomb with the EPM3. We are not doing one of those cheeky DNA bombs where we get 4 or 5 kills with it, then pick up another gun, then call it an EPM3 DNA bomb. No, every single kill is actually with this weapon, and it's freaking absurd. I don't understand it. It's honestly, in my opinion, probably the worst gun in the game. Right behind, actually no, which one would be worse, the EPM3 or the MK14? They're both pretty terrible, but if I had to guess, I'd say the EPM3 is probably worse because it overheats pretty quickly, and you know, the MK14 you can just reload and stuff like that. This gun just overheats, and it's like, oh man, I do not understand this weapon. It is just atrocious. I think it's kind of universally understood that the EPM3 is probably the worst gun here in Advanced Warfare. It's basically a marksman rifle, a laser marksman rifle, but I guess at the same time, to call it a marksman rifle, that's not really fair because marksman rifles were at least viable. So, I don't know, man. This gun is just atrocious. This gameplay was sent in by a guy that goes by the name of Cameron2K. And what we got going on here is a game of domination here on the map Greenband, which I gotta say, Greenband, good map. I like Greenband. I do, in fact, enjoy this map. But once I kind of got used to the map, and I stopped falling off of it, because I'm sure you guys can relate. I fell off this map several dozen times. It had to have been several dozen times. You know, when I had the game early and I was playing that and I was trying to get a feel for Advanced Warfare, or even just in the first few weeks of the game being out, I just mistakenly fell off of this map so many freaking times. I think everybody has. Like, I think we're all getting to the point now where we're like, okay, I understand where not to jump. I understand, you know, what walls are a depth barrier and basically and what walls aren't. You know, I know not to jump over the certain one, things like that. I think we've all kind of gotten that, but I think we can all admit that when we first started playing on this map, for the first probably dozen times we played on this map, we at least once fell off of it, because this map is just a kick in the teeth when it comes to that. It is just atrocious. So let's start talking about the create class here a little bit, because it's an EPM3, right? This gun's freaking atrocious. I think we can all agree this gun is just pretty bad, but of course there's going to be there 1 or 2 people in the comments that have to chime in like, oh no, this gun's very, very good. I don't know what you're talking about. I like using it, but that person has no idea what they're talking about. This gun's bad. Let's start talking about the create class we're using throughout this video. So we're using the EPM3. Once again, it's basically the stock variant, so there's no variants to it whatsoever. It's just a stock gun. All right, there's no variants, no upgrades, no downgrades, nothing. Just your standard issue EPM3. We're using a foregrip, which is definitely kind of useful, I would say, because the gun does seem to kick around a little bit. We've also got a red dot sight and a heatsink. Now, heatsink's an interesting attachment. It is an attachment that is only available to laser weapons because it only affects laser weapons. It basically means you can hold down the trigger longer before your weapon overheats. Now, in the case of the EPM3, you can actually use heatsink to make it so you can rapidly fire your shots faster without your weapon overheating. So heatsink is definitely a viable attachment on any and all laser weapons here in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. In terms of the perks, pretty standard setup, I gotta say, which I'm noticing a pretty standard setup with a lot of the perk setups here on DNA Saturday. So we got low profile as perk 1, we've got blind eye as perk 2, and we've got toughness and blast suppressor as perk 3, which I've said blast suppressor many times, probably the best perk in the game. Toughness, of course, is still as crutch as it has been in prior Call of Duty games, so both those perks are very, very good. And blind eye, while it's a perk I don't use quite a bit, just because I usually play in the party with my friends, and we don't usually have the opposing team putting up massive kill streaks. Like, of course they get their UAVs and they get their system hacks and stuff like that because they're just really easy to get in domination now, but very rarely does stuff like a warbird or a paladin or anything like that come in. So blind eye has never really been super essential to me, but you will be seeing a part of this gameplay where blind eye saves his butt so much. It's great. It's great. I definitely hope you guys stick around and enjoy that because it's coming up here pretty soon. I mean, we're already at the halftime right now, so it's coming up here pretty soon. You'll be seeing how blind eye just completely saves him, and it's great. We fast forward here through all the through basically the kill cam and the halftime and all that stuff. We cut that out for you guys. We're just gonna skip ahead here and go right into the second half. But needless to say, somebody does get a pretty good kill streak on the opposing team in this match, and it saves him, and it's pretty great, and hopefully you guys all enjoy watching that because it's definitely pretty cool. I want to take this time, this little time out here, because right now we're basically coasting off to the DNA bomb, right? I want to take this time to say, while this gun's atrocious, and while I don't condone anybody using it, because it's definitely bad, I do like the idea of using what people would consider to be bad guns here in Advanced Warfare. I think it's a lot more fun. For the first time, ever since like maybe the original Black Ops, I'm actually enjoying using some of the subpar guns and trying to do very, very well with them. If you guys don't remember, probably not, because it was a long time ago. Modern Warfare 3 was one of my least favorite Call of Duty games. Actually, it's probably my least favorite. It definitely has to be. I hated Modern Warfare 3. stopped playing it only a few months in and went back to Black Ops and COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 and things like that, right? So I went back to those games instead. And one of the things I did to kind of continue having fun with that game, so the game's already been out for a very, very long time, is I basically did a Road to Commander where it wasn't like your standard Road to Commander where I posted up all these live commentaries or anything. I basically just went from level 1 to first prestige while playing with subscribers, and it was pretty fun. And we basically tried to do the best we possibly could, but we were all using bad weapons. By the end of that prestige, like I showed my combat record, there's an entire video on this that you can still find on my channel. I had like a 4 KD or something like that, and my top weapons were like the Olympia and the Spaz 12 and the Akimbo Scorpions and like other various bad guns, or like maybe not bad guns, but like underused guns, and that's basically what I ended up using. And I thought it was a lot of fun doing that, and I had a lot of fun doing it, but I haven't really ended up doing that ever since then, because let's face it, anybody can do well with an AK-12 in this game. Anybody can do well with a Ball 27. Anyone can do well with basically any of the full auto rifles. And you see what I'm talking about right now? We got the Warbird coming in, and I'm watching his gameplay. Right? I'll get back to what I was talking about here in a second, but watch the Warbird. Warbird shooting at him. He starts ducking away. The reason the Warbird even saw him, because he's using blind eye, was because he was on top of that roof, and it's very easy to pick out a target right there. But yeah, he ended up getting away. And yeah, I just definitely thought that was pretty neat. But let's face it, anybody can do well with those guns, right? So I think it is kind of fun. Well, while it's still fun to use, your better guns, because of course it's a bit easier, you just hop on, have some fun with those guns, and get off. If you're really looking to challenge yourself, and the reward you get for like really just doing well with these subpar guns is definitely a lot better than doing well with like an AK-12 or something like that. So by no means am I saying stop using the AK-12 or stop using Ball 27 or any of the good guns in the game. I'm just saying it's a lot of fun to use these subpar guns, which I'm definitely doing a lot of here in Advanced Warfare. Once again, like EM1s and MP11s and shotguns. God, the shotguns are so bad in this game. But right there, we ended up picking up the DNA Bomb, and I thought that was an awesome, awesome gameplay. Just using, in my opinion, the worst gun in the game. I've tried using this gun. It is just atrocious. It's so bad. And it's crazy, because you watch gameplays like this. Like, you watch a YouTube video of somebody doing good with a bad gun, right? You're like, man, I can do that. Now I want to go try it out. Then you go try it out. You're like, oh. I remember somebody got a DNA Bomb with the AMR9, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go try that gun out. It looks so good. No. It's not. I wasn't having fun with that gun at all. But here we are at the end of the gameplay. His team pretty thoroughly whooped them 190 to 102. And yeah, it's a pretty good overall gameplay. We get a pretty awesome final score of 54 kills and 2 deaths, which I thought was a pretty awesome overall final score. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of DNA Saturday. And if you did, please be sure to rate where you guys feel to be deserves. Once again, thank you to Mr. Cameron 2K for sending in that gameplay. But if you guys like to go ahead and submit your guys' gameplay for next week's episode of DNA Saturday, watch this video right here. This video will tell you everything. So there's an annotation on your screen, and it will take you over to that video. That video tells you everything I'm looking for when I'm going through gameplays for episodes of DNA Saturday. So check that out, keep that in mind, and go watch that video. That way you can get a clear idea of things I'm looking for when you guys submit your stuff for DNA Saturday. If you guys like to go ahead and check out Mr. Cameron 2K, you can find him at the annotation on your screen or the link down in the video description, because he's a brand new channel here to YouTube. He's only been active for about 2 weeks now, and because of that, he hasn't actually got a directed URL to his YouTube channel yet. Like, you can't find him at like youtube.com/Cameron2K. It's basically youtube.com/random numbers and letters, because of the whole Google Plus system. He has to actually go in there and get that sorted out, which I don't even know how to do that, because I mean, of course, made my YouTube channel before Google Plus was implemented. So that's something he's got to get sorted out. A lot of channels you'll find have got to get that sorted out. A lot of them don't actually have direct URLs. They basically just have a bunch of random numbers and letters assigned to them from Google Plus. But if you want to check out his YouTube channel, you will find Call of Duty gameplay and not much else, to be perfectly honest. So he's only been posting for 2 weeks. He's got 7 videos, I believe, over the course of those 2 weeks. So if you kind of factor that in, that's probably a video every other day. And what he's got is basically DNA bombs and high-scoring gameplay. He doesn't do commentary on this stuff. It's basically just, hey, I got this really cool game. Maybe you guys would enjoy watching it. That's about it. I can't really pimp out his channel any much more than that, because there's really nothing else to his channel. You go over there, you see DNA bombs, and you see really high-scoring gameplay with no commentary. And I think one video has music on it. Besides that, there's really just basically high-scoring gameplay. And if that's your kind of thing, you just like watching gameplay with no commentary, that might be the channel for you. But if not, at least I tried. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of DNA Saturday. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.